Back to computer science. This is the week 12, beginning of week 12 now, and didn't actually reach the goal for the first week last week, and that's because I was sick. Unfortunately, didn't finish it, so it's not the end of the world. But this week the goal is to be back to hitting that weekly goal. So it's all about how we respond and continue. So we did a lot yesterday. And so I'm gonna have to try to recall everything we did yesterday. And it was the most I've ever done in one day, and I was trying to make up a lot of the time from the week. So, what are we looking at? String stuff. I still think it was still largely strings. Yes, string methods. Yeah, string methods. I remember capitalize. Method will capitalize the first letter of the string and then lowercase the rest. I think lower method will lowercase all the letters in the string. Upper will uppercase all the letters in the string. And title method will uppercase the first letter of each word, I believe. Lowercase the rest in that word, each word. Best practice is to modify do the modifications when the input data is read rather than later to help prevent bugs. That means like strip, another function, will remove the white space before and after the string. So you strip it and lower it when it's read rather than later on, so it limits the bugs. There's another method I'm remembering now, which is replace. Replace will take a string and replace will take an old substring and replace it with a new substring. You can also do replace start and count, and now the count will do it for the first number of those substrings that are found on count, the number of count times. Find is another method. Find will find a substring within a string, the first account of it. Our find will look from the last index forward, so we'll find the last, essentially, instance of that substring. Replace, find, what else do we got? Count. Count will count the number of times a substring is found within a string. If you want to just determine if a substring is within a string, it's better to use membership operator rather than find method. Is that about everything? I doubt it. Oh my gosh. I don't remember where we started. Oh my gosh, I think we have a lot more to talk about. So stride. As part of string notation, stride, not string notation, slice notation, slicing a string. What will stride do? It's it's where it increments. The default is 1, but what is string slicing? String slicing is like pulling out a substring from a string. Stride is the third argument. Default is 1 in string slicing. Determines how much to increment the index after reading each element. Okay, I think I understand that. I will need more practice though. Advanced string formatting. Field width. Field width is like the minimum number of space or characters that a string needs to output when it's printed. And the default character that's injected is just going to be a space or spaces. You can also change that, but let's talk about field width first. Default alignment for numbers will be right aligned. Default for the rest will basically left aligned. What else has to do with field width? Alignment. So before the number of before the width, you can put an alignment character to manually decide where a certain thing should be output object or yeah, should be output. Right aligned, center aligned, left aligned. Left aligned, you're going to use less than character. Right aligned, you're going to use a right aligned character. Center aligned or centered, you're going to use a caret. All right, now we get to the, what are those called? The object, character, something character, space, that's the default one. I don't remember now. Arrangement, alignment, and then alignment character, then what else? Fill character, typically a space. You put that even before the alignment character if there is one, or before the fill. No, before the oh my gosh. What is the minimum spaces? Field width. Okay. So you put it after the colon, I think, in a like formatted or replacement thing. Replacement field. Defines the minimum number of characters that must be output / inserted into a string. Number following a colon as formatting specification. Numbers are right aligned by default. Most other types are left aligned. Aligning characters. Characters placed before the field width specifier. Less than, greater than, or carets. Fill character is used to pad a replacement field when the inserted string is smaller than the field width. Default is empty space. Can change the fill by specifying it before the alignment character. Floating point precision. Period, number of spaces after, or digits after the decimal F. Placed after the field width component, begins with a period, ends with an F, is more digit specific. If more digits specified than exist, it will produce trailing zeros. If less digits exist than specified, it will round. Or if more digits specified, less digits specified than exist. Okay, replace old new count. The string can be a variable, or the old new count, I think, can be a variable or a string literal. Maybe even the string dot replace can be as well. Count replaces first count number of substrings. Oh yeah. Find. These are string methods. Find. If exact location index isn't important, use membership operator in instead to check if a substring is within a string. So find x returns index of the character or first character of substring of first occurrence. Or substring of first. Yeah, okay. Otherwise returns -1. X can be a string variable or a string literal. Find x start it will define where the search begins. End will end where the search ends. End -1. End search at index n -1. Start search from end and searches in reverse are find. Count x returns the number of occurrences of a substring in the string. All right, comparing strings. So we have relational operators, equality operators, identity operators, membership operators. So relational operators, we're looking at the first differing character ASCII values. If one string is shorter than the other and the strings are identical up to the end of the shorter string is considered less than. Less than the longer string. All right, string comparison methods. Why is it so loud? Is_AL_num is a method that will check if all the characters within a string are a letter or a number. is num. I believe we'll check to see if a string is all made of zeros and 0 through 9 digits. Is upper, we'll check if all letters are uppercased. Is lower, we'll check if all letters are lowercase. Ignores both. Is upper and is lower, ignore the rest of the digits or characters other than letters. It's not is num, it's is digit. Returns true if all characters are numbers 0 through 9. Bro, what the hell? Take your baby inside. Is space returns true if the string is only made of white spaces. That includes new lines and tabs, as well as just typical space. Starts with X. Returns true. Oh, these are all returning true or false. Is a L num, is digit, is lower, is upper. Starts with X, ends with X. Checks if X is the beginning of the substring that begins the string, ends with checks if the ending string ends with an X. So those are all. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got all these. Yeah, true or false. Yeah, okay. Creating new strings from a string. Capitalize lower, upper, strip, title. And yeah, now we're caught up. Okay. Told you that was the longest recall I've ever had to do because that was the most amount of work I've ever done in a single day. So I'm gonna jump back in, continue learning. I'll be back to recall what I learned a little bit. There it is. I finished lecture 21 on strings, started lecture 22 on strings, and an overview of list methods and like more on lists. First, split. The first lecture was first unit in that lecture 22 is on string splitting. So split is a string method that will basically break a string down into a list of substrings known as tokens. And these tokens are generated based on a separator that you give the split method. A separator is where like it decides where to split up the string. So also I looked at quiz 3 and boom, 100%, 25 for 25. I told you I was sweating that one. I wanted to get 100 and I got it, so nice. All right. Lecture 22 on strings, an overview of lists and list methods, splitting and joining strings. So it's also about joining. Split is a method that splits a string into a list of tokens. A token is a substring that forms a part of a larger string. Separator, character or sequence of characters that indicates where to split the string into tokens. Now it can be a sequence of characters, or a sequence of characters that indicates where you're going to split up the string into tokens. All right, that's it for today. Or no, I'll be back later, but that's it for now. So talk to you in a bit.